Truly, the bigger the turd, the harder it is to flush. And when it comes to the vandalisation of modern pop culture, it's hard to think of a bigger pair of turds than Alex Kurtzman and Secret Hideout, a misbegotten offshoot of their even bigger and shittier brother Bad Robot. They were hired by CBS under a 5-year contract to develop new Star Trek TV shows. And well, it didn't exactly go according to plan. Star Trek Discovery turned out to be one of the worst products of human endeavour since fucking Batwoman, a bleak, violent, depressing nightmare populated by unlikable, incompetent morons that basically exist for no other reason than to worship at the feet of diverse female space Jesus, who the show's writers would have you believe is secretly responsible for everything good that ever happens. Star Trek Picard destroyed in 10 episodes what Paramount took 7 seasons and 4 feature films to build up, turning one of Star Trek's most beloved and respected captains into a frail, pathetic, timid old man that acts as a background character in his own show, constantly upstaged and berated by his younger counterparts. Lower Decks, meanwhile, was a goofy, unfunny animated series featuring yet another flawless, idealized, diverse female central character who constantly humiliates and outperforms her weaker, hapless male shipmates. Each and every one of these shows has been a critical and commercial failure, winning lots of fake praise from shill media outlets, but getting consistently savaged by fans and ignored by mainstream audiences. Jesus Christ, I've got YouTube videos that get more views than Star Trek Discovery. And lurking at the centre of this swirling maelstrom of shittiness and failure was Alex Kurtzman himself, a man who managed to con CBS into thinking he was going to reinvigorate Star Trek on TV, a man who openly admitted that one of the most famous and long-running sci-fi franchises in history is less about entertainment for him and more about being a platform for the message. A man whose only other recent accomplishment was the disastrous TV show Clarice, which was so pointless and boring that it got cancelled after 1 season. A man who only yesterday managed to get his Star Trek contract extended for another 5 years. I mean, you've got to hand it to the guy in some ways. He's basically living proof that it's possible to achieve massive fame and success with practically no talent or ability. The thing is, I actually used to feel a bit of sympathy for CBS being lumbered with a guy like Kurtzman. Plenty of studios have been duped into hiring people that said all the right things and promised the earth in their pitch, but proved totally unable to deliver on their grand artistic visions, and CBS were clearly no exception. And once you're locked into a contract with someone, it can be very difficult and expensive to get out of it, no matter how much you might want to. But the thing about mistakes is that ultimately you're supposed to learn from them so they don't happen again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, well, you get the idea. I can only assume that CBS have a very different opinion on that shit though, because for some reason they seem determined to let this fucking idiot carry on bulldozing the smouldering ruins of Star Trek into the grounds. We've already got new seasons of Picard and Discovery on the way, despite the fact that nobody asked for them, and Strange New Worlds is pretty much guaranteed to destroy Captain Pike, probably the only good thing to actually come out of Discovery. But it doesn't stop there. Oh no, we've got tons more shows that nobody asked for. Want another unfunny animated kids show to go with the one that they already have? Then Star Trek Prodigy is the one for you. Want even more bleak, violent, depressing garbage featuring characters that nobody likes? Then you'll love Section 31, which Kurtzman's been absolutely determined to make for years, and I'm willing to bet was part of his new contract. Honestly, the only real hope I had for the future of Star Trek was that CBS might have an attack of common sense and jettison Bad Robot, Secret Hideout and everyone associated with them and scrap the whole ridiculous Kelvin timeline that's been pulling the franchise down like dead weight for the past 10 years. I guess that I was expecting a bit too much from them though. Covering some of the worst excesses of modern entertainment like I do, I've become pretty desensitized to the stupidity and arrogance of Hollywood studios today. But every once in a while, something comes along that's so completely opposed to logic, common sense, artistic integrity, and the simple desire to make money from a successful property that I'm genuinely at a loss to explain it. If Star Trek was a dying brand, just barely kept alive by the fading loyalty of its core fan base, who still remembered when it stood for optimism for the future, aspirations to intelligence, reason and curiosity, and the sheer wonder and joy at setting sail across the stars to discover what's out there, then this decision is basically the final stake through its hearts. I don't know what CBS expect to get out of it. I don't know who they think this new vision of Star Trek is meant to appeal to. All I know is that any lingering hope that it might somehow pull itself out of the mire and get back on track basically died on August 1st, 2021. And maybe that's the real message here. Maybe Star Trek no longer represents the best aspects of our nature or the highest aspirations of our dreams. Maybe it represents what we actually are. And if that's the case, well, maybe now you understand why I drink so much. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.